If you're a high achiever, you know the dance, right? It's this all-or-nothing cycle. You're either locked in with rigid, ironclad discipline, or you crash and burn into a pile of indulgence, which, of course, is followed by a mountain of guilt. It's exhausting. Well, let's talk about this, because there is a much, much better way to live and lead yourself.
Does this little voice sound familiar? Yeah. This is the operating system a lot of us have been running for years. It's this really simple, black and white rulebook that basically sets up a civil war inside you. The good, disciplined self versus the bad, indulgent self. And you're always fighting.
But here's the question that changes everything. What if that's a false choice? What if the whole premise is just wrong? This is our starting point for a total reframe, because it suggests that maybe, just maybe, our internal signals aren't enemies to be crushed or temptations to give into. Maybe there's something else entirely. And here is that reframe. We're going to move away from this moral framework of good versus bad, and we're going to step into a functional one. You see, the real distinction isn't between discipline and indulgence. It's between having a conversation with yourself and just issuing a command.
Okay, let's break down what these two modes feel like. On the left, you've got command mode. This is where indulgence lives. It's all about urgency, a narrow focus on I need relief now. It's about escaping discomfort. On the right, though, you have conversation mode. This is the heart of self-leadership. It's curious, it's open, and it's focused on what you truly need for long-term alignment. See the difference? Let's look a little closer at command mode, because it has a very specific flavor. It sounds like a demand. I need this now. There is absolutely no room for questions, no space for curiosity. And you know, for those of us with a trauma-adapted nervous system, this state can feel incredibly familiar. When your system has learned that slowing down is dangerous, it develops these lightning-fast strategies to get you out of pain. The goal isn't thriving, it's just surviving. It's pure escape. Conversation mode, on the other hand, it just feels completely different. The question shifts from a demand to a gentle inquiry. What is this trying to tell me? Right away, it creates space. It's open, it's curious, and it's aimed at real regulation and true stewardship of your own well-being. This is the state we want to learn how to cultivate.
So, the big question is, how do we shift from that tight, frantic command mode into this more spacious conversation mode? Well, the key is learning how to decode the message. It's about realizing that the craving that's screaming at you isn't the real story. This right here is one of the most powerful distinctions you will ever make. Let me say it again. A craving is not the signal. A craving is a strategy. That urge you feel to scroll for hours, to eat the whole pantry, to work until you collapse, that's just your brain's fastest, most practiced solution to deal with an underlying feeling you haven't put a name to yet. So let's trace what's actually happening inside. First, your body sends a signal. Maybe it's exhaustion or loneliness or just total overload. Second, your brilliant brain, trying to help, offers up a quick and dirty strategy, something familiar, like scrolling on your phone. The moment of true self-leadership arrives at step 3. It's the moment you pause and ask, wait a minute, what is the real signal here? What does my body actually need?
Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. Let's make this super practical. We're not just going to talk about theory, we're going to build a toolkit. Here are 3 simple, non-shaming tests you can use in the heat of the moment to help you shift into that powerful conversation mode.
The first test is so simple, you might overlook it. It's just this. Can I pause, even for just a minute or two? Here's the magic. If you're in conversation mode, a pause feels helpful. It brings in more data. But if you're in command mode, a pause will feel absolutely intolerable, maybe even dangerous. That resistance is the information. It's telling you which mode you're in.
Okay, test number 2 is all about calibration. Instead of going nuclear, can you ask yourself, what is the smallest possible action that would actually meet the real need? You see, indulgence almost always escalates. It uses a sledgehammer when a tiny adjustment would do. Self-leadership, on the other hand, is looking for just enough. Maybe the signal for exhaustion doesn't actually require a 2-hour Netflix binge, but just 5 minutes of lying on the floor with your eyes closed.
And this chart just illustrates that perfectly. Look at indulgence. It's this all-or-nothing 100% escalation. It completely overshoots the mark. But leadership is about precision. It's about that 25% calibration. It's finding the right tool at the right dose to restore your balance without accidentally creating a whole new problem to solve.
This third test is a reflective one. You use it after you've made a choice. And you ask yourself, with genuine curiosity, do I feel more resourced now or just kind of numb? And listen, this is not about judging yourself. This is about gathering data for next time. It's feedback, not a grade. A choice that actually restores your energy is fundamentally different from one that just helps you check out for a little while.
And this brings us to a really important point. Soothing your nervous system is a vital, non-negotiable skill. It is not an indulgence. But soothing can become a form of self-betrayal when its purpose is to stop listening to yourself altogether. The key difference here is agency. With healthy soothing, you feel present, you're making a conscious choice. In self-betrayal, you feel like you've checked out. You're kind of gone. You're no longer in the driver's seat.
Honestly, if you take only one single thing away from our time together today, let it be this question. This one sentence can be your compass for almost everything. In any decision, just ask, is this choice helping me tune into my body, or is it a way to tune out? The answer will give you profound clarity.
So as we start using these tools, pausing, calibrating, reflecting, we're not just managing urges. We're doing something so much deeper. We are fundamentally changing the nature of our relationship with ourselves. And that's the real goal here. It's not about achieving perfect control. It's about building a better, more trusting connection.
This means we have to completely reframe what we think discipline is. It is not about brute force. It's not about just saying no to your body. Real discipline is about listening deeply enough to be able to say yes to the right layer of need. And you know what? Sometimes the most disciplined choice you can possibly make is to rest. Other times, yeah, it's pushing through purposeful discomfort. The deciding factor isn't toughness. It's the clarity you gain from having the conversation first.
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. True self-mastery is not about dominating your internal world into submission. It's about building a trusting, responsive, and caring relationship with it. It's about leading yourself with attention and with curiosity. And that's not weakness. That is real, sustainable strength.